Hey guys, welcome to After Hours Investing. My name is Chris,
And my name's Michael.
and we're here to make you a more digestible market update today. Thanks
Hell yeah.
for tuning in.
I made a mistake yesterday, people. I didn't record Chris's beautiful audio. Um, and it was a pretty important video. We had the Fed meeting yesterday, so we're going to cover it really fast. I do want to apologize in advance because we did see some rallies yesterday. So we want to start, as always, with some good habits, and a good habit to have is to check the state of the economy. Currently, right now, I'm using investing.com now because it's up to date with the inflation rates. Our inflation rate is at 6.5%. As you can see, down from our 9.1% highs. It says July here, but it was reported in July. That is for the month of June. So we have been seeing a decrease in inflation in accordance with the Fed's, raising the interest rate. And speaking of the interest rate, yesterday they came to their decision, and just as we expected, they raised it a 0.25%. And you'll see that reflected in the market yesterday. People weren't caught off guard, like we said, or like I said in the second episode. If people are expecting a 0.25% increase, and a 0.25 increase does happen, you're not going to see a lot of blowback in the stock market. That's exactly what we saw. I'm gonna play some clips from the meeting, and we're gonna go ahead and summarize it after. Run it.
Today, the FOMC raised our policy interest rate by 25 basis points. We continue to anticipate that ongoing increases will be appropriate in order to attain a stance of monetary policy that is sufficiently restrictive to return inflation to 2% over time. And while recent developments are encouraging, we will need substantially more evidence to be confident that inflation is on a sustained downward path. The historical record cautions strongly against prematurely loosening policy. We will stay the course until the job is done. Thank you, and I look forward to your questions.
All right, to summarize, it looks like the Fed, they are aware of cutting too soon, as we saw that Michael Burry tweet in episode one. He was fearful that the Fed might cut the interest rates too soon, and we just see inflation skyrocket. And it looks like the Fed is aware. They did mention. Now, that's not to say they're not going to do it anyway, but it is encouraging to us as investors, and thus all the other investors, that they do acknowledge that this is a mistake that they could make. And it looks like, from what they say, they are very encouraged with the direction inflation is going. As we see, it has been decreasing. They've been successful in reducing it, but they're not confident yet that they need to stop or slow down, increasing interest. They mentioned that they need more data before they can make a decision. That being said, or with that being said, we can assume that at least currently they're still going to increase the interest rate. So that's something to keep in mind. Let's go ahead and check out our charts today. So let's gloss over for yesterday. I mean, you'll see today we've been rallying, not as much as yesterday. You can see when the Fed actually made their decision, we actually saw a great rally. So it looks like the bulls are still in control of the market. I've still got my monkey goggles on. We're still going to the moon. Of something I mentioned yesterday, but that video, since it had no audio, it didn't go up, is we have a little gap here. And this is a gap caused when a bunch of sell orders, as soon as the market opens, sell orders go through, and it shoots down, and it opens up the market at a deficit. And empty space always needs to be filled. You can see it where we have gaps like this, where this sell order went through. It's gotten filled over here. So these gaps need to be filled, and this is a gap that has not been filled yet, but we're pushing towards filling it. Now, I'm very hopeful. I'm on a full bull run in my head. I mean, I want to make some money. I assume a lot of people do. So I'm very encouraged by what I see here, and it looks like we're going to fill this gap. But when you're living in greed, I didn't check the index, but today the greed index, I'll put up a picture right here, is it's at a 71, so it's lowered from yesterday's 73. But we are still living in greed, and maybe pushing extreme greed, which would honestly signal a time that maybe the market's going to start correcting, and we might need to pull back. But right now, I think it's not a bad time to be greedy. But when you're thinking that, you always want to listen to a voice of reason, and we happen to have a voice of reason here today. Chris, take it away. What do you think?
All right. Well, in yesterday's video that we did record, I did mention that we would hit today's gap and then possibly reject. If we go on the 3 minute on the SPY, we can clearly see that for today's movement, and if we just see how today played out, so we did come down at least in the first 30 minutes of trading. We did come down a bit, but then we started pushing up. We consolidated for at least most of the day, and then we peaked around the last hour of trading, and then we sold off a bit, and then we started pushing up again. If this continues, we can get a sizable move to fill that gap to 421, and if that does happen, then the gap will be filled. We will be edging off, if we haven't already, into extreme greed. And as Warren Buffett says, if people are greedy, you should be fearful, and when people are fearful, you should be greedy. I think that's a great um, quote and just wisdom that he has bestowed on us
We should keep it in
in these
mind.
market conditions. And yeah, we should keep it in mind. I do want to point out the VIX right now is making bottoms. And if we go on the 1 day on the daily for the VIX, we can see that
Oops, that is the weekly. My lord.
we are we are forming a bottom here. So we're bouncing here. And if we do bounce, I'm not saying we could get upside at this point. These things do take time for them to start making to for them to start making a new trend. I do want to point out too that the dollar has bottomed out as well. And if we go over to the DXY, the dollar has gone up today with the SPY. So I am liking the dollar here. I don't think we see too much downside coming in the future, but anything can happen in these markets. This is not financial advice. But as we can see in October, the dollar did hit highs, and coincidentally, the SPY was at uh, lows at 356. If we do get a stronger dollar, I do believe that SPY can get pushed down, and coinciding with VIX, I think it's looking like we start to get a bounce here from these bottoms. Um, but these markets can stay irrational more than you can stay solvent for most of the time, and you want to position yourself at the right side of the trade. Now, if we go over and cover meme stocks today, I'm pretty impressed. BBY did something I did not expect. We did consolidate for the past 2 days, and today went, we went with hands, and we went flying. We went almost, I believe, 27% before coming down to 19% on the daily amount of gains. I think this does have room if we do push up on indexes tomorrow. This does have room to go up even more. I think this was a delayed effect for BBY. I want to talk about AMC. And AMC, all the meme stocks today did well. They all made movements up, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. But if we get chaos in the markets tomorrow, I would say to stay away from them, and this could possibly end badly if we do get a red day tomorrow. As far as GameStop and Lucid, they both had green days. GameStop, like I said, had a lower low, and I do like trading based on price action. And this did seem like a good trade to get in, and if you got in, you got some money. Lucid went up today. Not the move I was expecting, but if we do get another green day tomorrow, this could potentially go up. Michael, do you want to cover anything else?
Oh, I would love to talk about cryptocurrency. My love child, Ethereum Classic. has been making strides. Today, we peaked out. Let me put it at 3 minutes so I can bust a little harder here. Um, as you can see, we've touched up on past $24. You usually see this on Ethereum Classic. It shoots up like $2, drops back down, shoots up $2. Now, it's not really recently. We've been on like a haul and beyond belief, and I think that's why we're seeing a bit of a correction here. As you can see, this wick touchdown, almost passing 22.3. I don't think in the near future we're dropping below $22. And keep in mind that the barrier to entry on crypto is way lower than stocks. Anybody can get in cryptocurrency, and it runs 24 hours. So there's no market closing. You don't have to worry about no post market shenanigans or even the dark market, which still has me a little bit confuzzled. Um, but I like what I see here. Now, of course, had I caught it, I definitely would have dipped out right here. And this is about a time that I would buy back in. Me personally, this is not financial advice, but if you've been looking at Ethereum Classic and you slightly agree with me, then maybe great minds think alike, and this is a great time to enter into Ethereum Classic. Like I said, the gains you get from Ethereum Classic are significantly higher than the gains you get from Ethereum. Even when Ethereum makes a great move like this, you'll see. Let me go to the day so it's a little bit manageable. Um, we'll go ahead and look at something like, let's see a big move here. I'll say from here, we got July 13th to August 13th. So this is a month move right here. You have about 91%. Damn, that's crazy. Maybe I'm tripping, but if you go to Ethereum Classic around this time too, you got July 13th. We'll start same thing, July 13th. We're going up to August 13th. And as you can see, that's a 211% move. So even though Ethereum and Ethereum Classic are moving at the same rate, you get way more gains from Ethereum Classic. I don't see why anyone would not invest in Ethereum Classic. If you believe in Ethereum, I think you should invest in Ethereum Classic. Again, this is not financial advice because, I'm not trying to be held liable for anyone losing money. But at the end of the day, the data shows that if you believe in Ethereum, you probably should invest in Ethereum Classic. And that's all I got for today. Chris, do you have any closing thoughts or?
Yeah, I'd like to touch on that Michael Burry did delete his Twitter recently, since we have moved up since the Fed rate decision, and we've gone 2 green days so far. If we get another green day, then as I said, we would be edging off towards extreme greed, and if we do fill that gap tomorrow and to 421, that would be good for the Bulls, but it would leave something in the air for at least next week. I don't know if we get a, a chaotic red uh, week ahead, but for now, and until we get tomorrow's trading day, I'd say tomorrow we're looking good for another green day. Obviously, if we get a bloodbath tomorrow, I'd stay away. But until they fill that gap to the upside, I do think they still need to fill that gap to the upside, and they're going to fill that gap. I still believe that. But I think Michael Burry may be early. He may overshot his prediction, but we'll soon find out.
Thanks for tuning in, people. We're your after hours investors. And like we say, we do our after hours investing, but we like to do our after hours research, and we think you should too. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, guys.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's the best